Hey there, today I have another EFT tapping video for you, and this is I will never get to heaven if I'm rich. Hello there, Marguerita here, conscious mindset coach, business strategist, and light worker from Pitbull Coaching, and founder and creator of the Wealth Consciousness Movement and the Conscious Wealth Revolution. Now, today I have another EFT tapping video for you, and it is based on a phrase that I certainly heard when I was growing up as a Catholic and going to church every Sunday. And I went to a Catholic school, and there was this saying that I know that you've heard if you're a Christian, that it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven. What? It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven. Right. So in God's teachings in the Bible, it's telling me that I'm really, really rich, then my chances of getting to heaven are like zero. If I'm not going to heaven, where am I going? Hell? God, no. I ain't going to be rich. Can you hear the conversation that's going on in your subconscious mind? Now, if you were exposed to this as a small child, can you imagine the impact that that has had on you psychologically? Now, I'm not trashing the teachings of the Bible, but I do know that these parables, whilst powerful, they can have multiple meanings. The meaning of this one seems pretty clear. And I'm not rejecting that there are some people in the world who are really, really rich, who I hope to goodness that they're actually not going to heaven, at least not immediately. I hope they've got some more work to do before they get there, because there are some rich people who are doing some pretty mean and nasty things on this planet, right? But that doesn't mean that you cannot do good things with money. Now, if you're doing good things, do you think that you're going to earn your way into heaven? Do you think that God is going to reject you from getting into heaven if you're a really good person? Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. If you're rich or poor, that is not the determining factor. The determining factor of you getting into heaven is, are you a good person? Right? So if you're doing good work, then I think the pearly gates are going to be open to you, don't you? Now, there are lots of poor people who are doing really bad, horrible things in the world. Poor people, people in all different ends of the spectrum. Middle-class people do horrible things too. Some of them, not all of them, of course. There are more good people in the world than there are bad people. So let's work on this. If I'm rich, I'm never going to get to heaven. Let's clear that out, because money is just an amplifier. Money just amplifies whether you're a good person or you're a bad person, right? So if you're the kind of person who is going to do good things in the world, if you're a good person inside, then money will amplify that. You will be more generous. You'll make a bigger contribution. You'll help more people. You'll contribute to good causes. If you're an evil person, then that will be amplified and you'll do more evil in the world. So if you're an evil person, bug off right now, because I don't want you here. I know you're not. I know that as part of my community, you're a good person. You want to do good in the world. So let's clear out this trash once and for all, shall we? So you can actually have a positive impact in the world and do good things and help make the world a better place, like I know you really want to. Yes? Okay, so let's start by tapping on the side of the hand and repeat it. Oh, actually, before we do that, rate on a scale of 0 to 10. If I'm really, really rich, I'm never getting into heaven. Scale of 0 to 10, how true is it? 10, it's really true. 0, it's not true at all. Okay, side of the hand. Even though it's really hard to get into heaven if you're a rich person, I deeply and completely love and accept all of me. Even though it's almost impossible to get into heaven if you're rich, I deeply and completely love and accept all of me. Even though if I'm really rich, I'm never getting into heaven, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept who I am and how I feel right now. Okay, tapping through the points. I can't be rich and get into heaven. If I'm really rich, I'm never getting into heaven. It's almost impossible for rich people to get into heaven. Jesus said it's really hard for rich people to get into heaven. I want to go to heaven. I don't want to go to hell. So I don't want to be rich because I really want to go to heaven. I release all emotional attachment to it's impossible for rich people to go to heaven. I release all emotional attachment to rich people don't go to heaven. I release all emotional attachment to rich people go to hell. I release all emotional attachment to it's impossible for rich people to go to heaven. I transmute, transform, and transcend. It's impossible for rich people to go to heaven. I transmute, transform, and transcend. If I'm rich, I'll never get into heaven. I transmute, transform, and transcend. Rich people can't get into heaven. I transmute, transform, and transcend. I don't want to be rich because I want to go to heaven. I destroy and uncreate rich people can't go to heaven. I destroy and uncreate if I'm rich, I'm not going to heaven. I destroy and uncreate rich people can't get into heaven. I destroy and uncreate. It's impossible for rich people to go to heaven. I destroy and uncreate rich people go to hell. I destroy and uncreate. I'll never get into heaven if I'm rich. I destroy and uncreate. I don't want to be rich because I want to go to heaven. Okay, deep breath. And release it. And again. And release it. Okay, write the statement, I'll never get to heaven if I'm rich. Now, what I want you to do is keep tapping until you get that to a 2 or below before moving on to the positive tapping. But if you're ready, start on the inside of the eye and repeat after me. Good people go to heaven. I'm a good person. Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor. If I'm a good person, I go to heaven. I could be rich, as long as I'm a good person, I'll get to heaven. I choose to be a really good, rich person, and I know I'll get into heaven. I choose to be a really good, rich person so I can get into heaven. As long as I'm a good person, I'll get into heaven. So I choose to be rich AF and do good things. When I'm rich AF, I will do God's work. When I'm really, really rich, I will do more of God's work. God works through me every day. And when I'm really rich, I can do more of God's work. When I'm really rich, it will amplify the good work that I do. Good people go to heaven. And I'm a good person. Whether I'm rich or whether I'm poor is irrelevant. Okay, deep breath. Release it. Again, deep breath. And release it. Hey, rate that statement. I can't get into heaven if I'm rich. Just doesn't make any sense anymore, does it? So now get really clear on God's work that you are going to do. And when you're really rich, how is that going to amplify you doing good work, God's work? You making a contribution, you making the world a better place. Right? So these parables, whilst I believe they're powerful and they have a place and they make us think, I know that the Bible has gone through multiple interpretations. So I think it's important to take the lessons and the wisdom in the foundation of the lessons and then use them for our own good. If we just take everything in the Bible literally, then we miss the point. There is so much wisdom, and it's important that we read in between the lines, not to interpret it in the way that just suits us, but that we understand the message that was being delivered to us through the word of God. Does that make sense? All right. You know, if I'm not actually a religious person, I did grow up Catholic and I am spiritual. I believe in God, source, the divine, spirit. I believe it's all the one thing, that we all come from the same source. And I believe there is wisdom everywhere. And it's up to us to choose how we live our lives and how we allow the wisdom of spirit, however we acquire that wisdom, to live through us, so we can be good people and make the world a better place. Now, I would love to know how this has impacted you. Please like and subscribe and comment below. Let me know how this has changed your mindset around money, wealth, and abundance, and how you're going to apply this to do more of God's work. Okay? And don't forget to come and join the Wealth Consciousness Movement. Loads of other free EFT tapping videos in there for you in the library, and to help you to be wealthy AF and make the world a better place. So I look forward to seeing you in the community. Until next time, keep tapping, and bye for now.